the most combative radio host on the planet.
You're going to be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
Such a sexy radio host.
He was no slouch in bed.
You son of a bitch.
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
This town needs an enema. I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Now, live on ESPN Radio, the Jim Censabella Show.
Are you ready? Because it's my time.
Back here on a wonderful, gorgeous, hot Wednesday here, downtown Nashua. 603-883-9900. Jim Censabella Show live in studio here. Attaboy, Nick. Live in studio, having a good time on a gorgeous day here. Lots going on in the world of sports. We'll break down the Pats trade yesterday. And all I got to say is about this. Stop frickin' whining, Patriot Country. You have no idea why they did this. So tired of hearing people whine. Oh, Logan Mankins, he's a Pro Bowler. Yeah, he was $13 million. They're going to save in 2 years. Shut up.
That's exactly right. That's the storyline.
That's it.
It was a salary dump. There's one of three reactions. Okay. As you said, you either get emotional, you're a low-information Pat fan, you know the name Logan Mankins, you know that he's good, he's been good,
got it.
Doom and gloom type of fan.
Absolutely.
The other fan is the opposite. Okay, great. We got this guy from Tampa. He's a monster. Let's rock and roll. We got another tight end.
Yeah.
Let's talk formations. Let's get a red zone threat, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely.
Truth is always in the middle, Jim, as we know.
But
and
I look at it,
what
saving
is the
money.
That's right.
Saving
it's
money,
always
guys.
Bottom line. Belichick has a track record of better a year early than a year late.
That's what he said. I want to be better early than late. And we just happened to see a piece before we went on ESPN here. And it was a piece about all the players that their time had come, not from their career standpoint, but from a money standpoint. Go down the list. It was Drew Bledsoe, all right? Brady was going to take that anyway, so that was a little bit more of both. Lawyer Malloy, there's an exempt. Ty Law, another one. Yep. William McGinnis. So look at all these guys. Ty Law was at the top of his game. Lawyer Malloy was at the top of his game. And they just, look, either restructure your paycheck or we're going to move you. And that's what they've done. And they continue to do it. And that's the way they do it. Same with Adam Vinatieri. No kicker's worth that amount of money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that was a joke.
That was a joke.
Again, he sees it almost as an extension of college.
Sure.
Right? You get drafted, it's your rookie year. All right? Then you're supposed to contribute really in year 2. Okay, year 3, if you're a starter, we're going to keep you around. By then, year 4, you're a star.
Right.
Okay? Then we talk about star money.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's when those hard decisions either come into play then.
Yeah.
Okay, when the player's still in his prime, i.e. Asante Samuel.
Yeah.
Or it comes in, okay, maybe we can wiggle, maybe we hold you out, maybe you're a franchise tag, whatever it is, it starts to get messy. And this got messy a long time ago with Logan Mankins.
And this has been going on. Yeah.
Right.
But here's the other thing. The Patriots have a model. It's like any good business plan, they have a model. Mm-hmm. And that model, every position's got a value dollar amount. Mm-hmm. Interesting enough, they're different than most of the league, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but I'll talk about how you have the number one guy on the team, obviously Tom Brady, pay-wise. But then when you jump down, you get into defensive linemen, you get into offensive guards. It's different. In the other teams in the league, it's mostly running backs and things of that nature, quarterbacks that are getting the big money. So we'll break that down. I'm going to pull the roster up from the Pats in a little bit. But, look, they have a model. They say a cornerback's worth XYZ. They say a tackle's worth XYZ. Listen, by the way, you picked up a guy who, Darrelle Revis, was on this team last year on Tampa Bay and has made it clear. Look, he joined the team as the Bucs, undrafted free agent. Started 8 games. Was he out of Rutgers? Was he out of Rutgers? Mm-hmm. Started 8 games, had 54 receptions, 571 yards, and 5 touchdowns. The guy's a catch. He's a runner. Catch, runner, big time. With all the issues you've had with Gronkowski, and I've said it all along, I'm surprised if this guy makes 6 games this year. I'll put the over and under in Vegas is probably right around 6 or 7 games.
I'm not going to argue.
Okay. So then what do you
I got
do?
about at 8, by the way. But
right.
You know.
But now think about it. If you could put this kid in your arsenal like you just mentioned and have a quick short game, man, does that open up your long game, right? We've seen this done before years ago when Brady was first playing. They had some great. They have Ben Coates. Who's the other dude they had the tight end? They had a couple good tight ends. Short game was great, which opened up the long game. Why Randy Moss had such a great year? They had great tight ends that year. Okay, so they have a model, and there's no way they're going to deviate from it. One of the things they said on the article we watched prior to going on the air, they had some of the players, they asked a question. They simply said, by losing players like yourself, Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law, these guys, did it cost you more championships? Now, the only smart one out of the crew was Drew Bledsoe. He said, there's no way. You can't say that. They've won 3 championships in X amount of years. They've been in how many Super Bowls in X amount of years? You can't say that. Now, who's the ones that make comments and saying, yeah, they did? Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law. Okay? It's not going to happen. And the thing with Vinatieri, like it or don't like it, you don't pay a kicker that much money. That's ridiculous. And they fill right in. They fill right in a kicker all the time. They are smart one. I don't know what it is with the brain trust in the Patriots, but they always have a good kicker. They always have a good kicker.
They've been lucky they haven't had a kicker problem in 20 years.
20 years.
You know,
go all the way back prior.
They have not had a kicker problem since Vinatieri.
Yeah. And
even Matt Barr was solid before that.
Sure.
But again, you're right. It's a business model. It's a system. That being said, you cannot tell me, though, the Patriots got better yesterday, because they didn't.
Do you think they got worse?
They got worse yesterday. So? Yes, they did. Okay. In the short term, they got worse.
In the short term?
In the short term, as in i.e. this year.
So you're thinking Dan Connolly is not going to be able to hold up?
Whether it's Connolly, whether it's Klein, okay, whether it's any of them up front, okay? They were already had to do what they had to do. And it's kind of mix and match in between the tackles, okay, between guard. We saw Mankins last year really, I think, show his versatility by lining up at tackle when needed last time. So I think they had a thin line, not necessarily a thin line, but not enough depth. And now that lack of depth is really going to be tested and I think exposed without Mankins in there.
Sure.
Okay, you better hope that this guy Klein, who's supposed to be the big talk, that he's going to get the job done. I don't know. I mean, offensive linemen are offensive linemen to a degree.
To a degree, yeah, I'll give you that much.
They're good, they're big, they get a chance,
yep,
thrust into the starting lineup, and if they hang, they hang. It's just like any other position. Mm-hmm. You get to know the guy, you get to know his name.
Sure.
So we'll see.
Well, listen.
But you're losing a Pro Bowler.
You are losing a Pro Bowler. I get it.
Period.
You're losing a Pro Bowler at an on an offensive lineman. I get that, okay? But you're also freeing up some money. All right.
That's the bottom line.
And you've got 2 guys, Connolly and Klein, that you're going to probably, who's ever going to get winning the starting job, whatever. But I'm watching enough of these tweets come flying today and yesterday, what are the Patriots thinking? Some Patriots Nation reminds me of the pink hat Red Sox fans.
Yeah.
They have their head up their ass, and they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They hear a name. It's the same thing when Lawyer Malloy was gone. Oh, my God, the sky is falling. When Ty Law was gone, the sky is falling. You people from Methuen, go out and take care of your flowers and go eat some oysters. Because I'm telling you right now, you have no idea how the hell why this deal went down, and this has been the talk for a while. Now, here's another point. Ryan Mallett's not going to play tomorrow night. Okay, the backup quarterback technically for Brady.
Adios.
He's going to be gone. He's going to be traded. They just want to play Garoppolo tomorrow night the entire game. Why? Because they want to make sure he's capable enough to back up Tom Brady. If he is, Ryan Mallett's going to go too. And it's been going on all summer. I don't know why this is a surprise to Patriot Nation. Even you, Stat. You know, sometimes you're very smart. But today, do you know how long they've been talking about trying to trade Ryan Mallett? All off season, I've heard it. No. I'm talking all season. It was all off season, before the draft and after.
I remember sitting
Houston, Texas, one of the names.
In this room talking to, I don't know if it was Nick or Rich.
Yeah.
And saying,
well, there's your problem in the first place, talking to Rich.
Before the draft.
Right.
So
but
I knew
listen,
Houston, Texans.
This was a conversation.
Go, baby, go.
This was a conversation topic,
yes,
not
sir.
before last draft, the year before,
in
2013, in this studio, between myself
and the artist formerly known as Jackass,
as an unnamed person.
Yes.
Fought until he was blue in the face, trying to convince me that Ryan Mallett had second-round trade value.
Trying to convince
you. I said, you are out of
your mind. Absolutely out of your mind.
Out of your mind. And now here we are, 15, 16 months later.
Yeah. And you might get a 4th rounder out of him.
Or he just might get cut, period.
Yes.
Period. I don't think they're getting anything. I think Stat's right.
Even if, I don't know, we'll just take the Rams, for example, who has Bradford hurt, and they say, well, I think Mallett's better than Sean Hill.
Oh, hell yeah, now.
Why are they going to give him up if they know he's just going to be cut?
Listen,
That's stupid.
Mark Sanchez is better than Sean Hill. The guy's been playing 13 years, Sean Hill. Okay, he's 34 years old, What do you got backing him up? You got rookies, okay? This is a huge blow for St.
Sanchez
Louis.
has more talent than Hill.
Right. But here's what I'm going to say to Jeff. It surprised me, Jeff Fisher. You knew you had a guy that's had some issues with injuries, okay? He had injury issues in college. He had injury issues last year. And you don't even go out and get a really good backup. Sean Hill is your guy. He failed in that department. He could have made some maneuvers prior to the season, getting some good of a backup. I mean, look, say what you want about Sanchez, but he's capable enough to run an offense. Sean Hill has been a backup pretty much his whole career, right? He was in Tampa Bay for a little bit, but
yeah, he got an opportunity a few years ago.
Wasn't he with Detroit?
So didn't Moses at one point.
I mean, he's limited. He doesn't have an arm.
No, that's what I mean.
He might not kill you. He's a
Right.
game manager.
So does Ryan Mallett become very attracted to St. Louis Rams right now? Sure he does.
Probably.
I think you got some opportunities now to might be able to get a draft pick. I don't know if you're going to get a second-round pick.
Let me ask you
He'll be lucky to get
what
six.
GM in his right mind would deal any pick for Ryan Mallett?
Well-
What does Ryan Mallett have on his resume besides looking like he's lost
Right.
in every preseason appearance he's been at?
Because did Matt Castle have any kind of value, better or worse than Ryan Mallett does today? Had he not played and filled in for Tom Brady?
None.
Zero.
None.
So what I don't understand is the Patriots if the Patriots had any question, they already knew what they have in Garoppolo. You got to roll the dice one way or the other, right? One way or the other, they got to roll. Just play the damn guy and showcase him. The fact that they're sitting him down tomorrow, what does that tell you? It tells me that he's already getting ready to be traded,
He's
and they don't
gone.
want to screw him up by letting him getting popped in this game.
You might get a conditional late round pick, a
Right.
6th, 7th, maybe if you're lucky, and if so, cash that in immediately. I would do that, but I don't see that happening. I think he's a victim of the cut down list. I think he's on the couch along with UI and Stat next weekend watching preseason
Well, he ain't
football.
sitting with me.
Yeah, right.
I'm having
He's not sitting
I'll have
with
my
me
Jet
either.
shirt on the whole time.
Right.
Who, Mallett or me?
Mallett. Oh, you can Matty, you Stat, you can sit with us anytime, buddy. As long as you're able to get up and get me a beer every 10 minutes, I'm happy with that.
That's right.
Probably.
No, Ryan Mallett, you're right. I think he could be on. He could either be traded as. I think he's going to go as a backup somewhere. They're going to get some kind of a conditional draft pick or something like that. It's not going to be anything heavy.
It took, I think, all of 30 seconds for me to figure out that Garoppolo was head and shoulders more prepared, the better option at the backup.
Okay.
It took one series to see that. You can see Garoppolo, okay, fine, he's small, whatever, arm strength questionable, whatever. Good footwork, good poise, a little bit of mobility.
Quick release.
Quick, bingo. So there are definitely some signs that were obvious right away.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know Mallett's the 6'5", the SEC superstar from years ago, but guess what? How many times do we have to see a great college quarterback fall on his face at the next level?
I give you that. but
Matt
yeah.
Leinart, anybody?
Exactly. How about Ryan Mallett's making $937,000 against the cap this year? That's it. I don't see Garoppolo's on here. I don't know. Maybe he's not signed yet. Yeah, there he is, right there. He's $633,000. Patriots don't care about saving $300,000. They want to make sure they get a good, capable backup. Why not keep both?
Because
remember, when Tom Brady was a quarterback, there were four QBs, three in front of him.
We've seen New England change that trend. They've kept 2. They've kept 3. As you mentioned, there was one year where they kept 4.
Brady was the 4th.
Because, again, if you're going to have to go to Ryan Mallett as a third option at some point in the regular season,
Yeah.
you're in trouble anyway.
Sure you are.
Why not at that point, if your top 2 are out,
Yeah.
at that point, then you re-examine the situation. Who's available off the street?
Right.
And guess what? Mallett will still be hanging out on the couch.
Of course he will. He's not
So
going anywhere. He could be
why
sitting there.
carry the spot?
Right.
When, again, you've got –
But you're going to pay him more.
you're not going to keep Ryan Mallett over a guy like Tynes
No.
or a Josh Boyce.
No,
but,
no.
but a spot is a spot.
Right. I'm just
Especially
saying.
at the bottom of the roster.
If you have an issue with Tom Brady gets hurt, God forbid, right? If all you Patriots would say. In Boston, they say, God forbid for everything. If he gets hurt,
you might be able to at least compete maybe with Garoppolo. Maybe.
But is it cheaper, I guess, from an economic standpoint, is it cheaper to keep the guy and not have to say, oh, now he's on the couch. Oh, well, we need more money. You know that always happens. It's a BS thing, but it happens.
Yeah, but he's not making enough money for that to really be a factor.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt right now. But
it's more about the roster spot.
Right, and here's the issues I was talking about with the Patriots. Tom Brady gets 14.8 this season, okay? The next one down was Logan Mankins at 10, offensive guard. Gerard Mayo, linebacker, whatever the hell you want to call him, 7.2. Darrelle Revis, $7 million. Vince Wilfork, $6 million. All defensive guys. Mm-hmm. There's one other guy in there, which is Gronkowski at 5'4", okay? And then you go down to McCourty and then on and on. But it's mostly defensive guys in that top part. That's so different than the rest of the NFL teams. It's so funny. Yet, they have a model. I love Kraft's model. I think it's smart. I think it's the reason why they've been in so many Super Bowls. I disagree with Lawyer Malloy. I disagree with Ty Law. Catch this. They'll play this skit later on tonight. They interviewed all the several players that had left the organization. Bledsoe was the first one. The only one that agreed that they have a great model. Okay? Their model is every position is a value on it. It's not like the old days when we first get into fantasy football. Everybody went after Brett Favre, right? Everybody went after Steve Young. They didn't know any better.
I think you're right, and it's twofold. I think they have an idea per position what the cap is monetarily,
Sure,
and what the cap is age-wise.
Sure. Yep.
So
and that's the other part too.
You combine the two, then yes, you have something to fall back on.
Yep.
And the players are always interchangeable.
Yep.
Again, those emotional Patriots fans, don't be over-emotional.
No.
But don't be overconfident either, because your team did not get better yesterday.
Right. No, they did not get better yesterday, but they got better in the offseason. They got better on the defensive side of the ball. And Brady's got more and more options, I think, than he had last year. Again, you're banking on a healthy Gronkowski. And I'm telling you right now.
I'm not banking on that.
They are.
Right.
They are. But how long is that trend going to happen? Okay, how long is that going to continue to happen? That's crazy. 603-883-9900 coming up at about 3:20. Philip
You
Perry.
change, man.
Change, baby. Phil Perry.
Hostility.
From Comcast Sportsnet is going to join us. God, we love screwing him with his name when he comes
We
on.
got Mike Loico coming up too, Jim. I forgot.
Loico's coming
420.
up. 420.
NEPatriotsDraft.com.
So we'll get all kinds of Patriots talk. We'll get into some other stocks. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about this Josh Gordon, this situation here. Again, I thought if Josh had a little more sense and just learn how to smoke marijuana at a different period of time, but getting caught 3 times, I guess I got to side a little bit with the NFL today. However,
a year?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. 8 games? Sure. But when it comes down to the situation with Ray Rice and the 2-game suspension, I don't get it. I still don't get it. It's marijuana, folks. He didn't beat anybody up. He didn't slap a girl around, slap whatever. He didn't do any of that. And if that caller wants to call back in and always talks about his buddy who beat up a girl, well, go ahead, call him. That's fine. Knock yourself out. I still don't understand. And I would really appreciate it, Josh, if you had your head out of your ass and didn't do it 3 times in a row. There's not a lot of leverage you got there. If this Ray Rice story didn't happen, then the year suspension would have been no problem. It would have been just, okay, that's what we do.
There wouldn't have been as much backlash.
No, barely, I think. I think you got to get something.
I still don't see that
I don't either.
The crime fits the punishment. But again, it's a problem for Goodell.
Yeah.
And his approach so far is, okay, speak minimally.
Yeah.
Okay, as least often as I have to.
Yep.
And just hunch down and wait for this thing to blow over.
Exactly.
I don't think that's going to happen though.
No. Here's the other thing. We talked about it last week.
Not until Rice is at least back on the field and we're a month deep,
Yeah. I think Ray Rice, coming out and saying what he had to say, I get it. Look at Mankins is going to do the right thing. He's going to walk and do the talk, and someday he'll come out with like Malloy and those guys and complain and bitch and moan about what happened today. But look,
the thing is, though, Mankins will do it without a ring.
Right. Because he missed all the rings coming here. He came in 2005. He came here, right?
Yep, which was after the last one.
Yeah. But look, he was great here. I'm sure he's going to help out Tampa Bay down there. They need all the help they can get that team down there. But I think the tight end position that they got this kid out of Rutgers is a good position. He proved he can play tight end in the NFL. Okay, he became expendable with some of the guys. And I don't understand that.
We'll see. Let's remember, this guy went undrafted.
I understand that. But he also filled a really good role.
He also went undrafted.
But they went out and they got 2 guys. I don't understand Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay's completely got their head up their butt sometimes when it comes to this. They're talking to Richie Incognito the other day.
But Tampa got better.
They've gotten better. But why if you have a guy that can play tight end?
On this move, they got better.
Sure they did. Well,
overall.
Did they?
Yes, because their biggest weakness was up front.
Okay.
And they not only add a veteran, but an all-pro veteran.
Okay.
How can you say they didn't get better?
Well, because they sucked last year.
Right.
And they continue to suck. So you think an offensive lineman's going to help you?
Absolutely.
When you have garbage at quarterback?
Well, they got a new quarterback.
Well, who is that?
Josh McCown.
Thank you.
We'll
I'm all
see.
set with that.
Yeah. Well,
How long has he been playing? Would you draft him at all as a quarterback on your team? No, you wouldn't.
There's worse options.
What happened to the other kid there? Was it Freeman?
Yeah, he's done.
He's all done.
You traded him to Minnesota, and
so Josh McNow is your guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And
who lit the place on fire for a stretch last year with Chicago.
And who did he play? For Chicago, right.
As
because
a
he had a
fill-in.
very good team.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a different team down there. I don't know.
I don't know. They've got their running back and Doug Martin. They got a couple of big, tall trees on the outside.
What was Tampa Bay's record last year? I'm curious.
They started 0-7.
Okay, so there you go.
Right. So enough said. but Jim, the
NFL
is completely different year to year, though.
And that's what I love about the NFL.
It's the highest turnover in the playoffs.
Isn't that what brings people
of the
back
four
all
major
the time?
Right.
That's what makes me watch it.
Half the playoff teams from a year ago are gone the next year.
Right.
And a new half that stunk the year before fills in the shoes. You don't see that in the other sports as much.
Except for my Jets. Geno Smith actually right now is
Even
the
the
starting
Jets?
quarterback.
Yeah.
That scares the hell out of me right now.
We'll see about year 2.
And Michael Vick's been saying all the right things. God bless him. He's
Yep.
been saying all the right things. I came in here to compete, and I'm a backup. Wow. If that's what the New York Jets got him for, then
if you think about it, though, Vic has been saying the right things since he got out of jail.
he has no choice.
He's turned into a pretty good PR
Sure
guy
he has,
for
yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Since he got out of jail,
Yeah.
he's been Mr.
Absolutely.
Mr. Clean Cookie.
As was Ray Lewis.
He never went to jail.
Yeah, he was. He was in jail for that whole time. He was
I don't
behind
know.
bars the whole time during his trial.
During the trial?
Check it. I'm 99% sure that boy's ass was sitting behind jail like an OJ kind of thing was.
Maybe for a few days during the trial.
No,
but,
was he?
He never served any actual time.
I kept thinking he was. Maybe I keep seeing OJ in his eyes. I don't know. Two scumbags anyways, if you ask me. 603-883-9900. We come back. Phil Perry from Comcast Sports.net is going to join us talking some Patriots football here on the Jim Censabella Show, live on ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Go to ESPNNHradio.com. We'll be right back. Masa Hibachi, located at 1707 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall of New Hampshire, is a new modern Asian restaurant with a diverse menu. Masa is a great place to enjoy one of their famous specialty martinis with a friend in their large, spacious lounge area. Dine with a small party or a large party in their state-of-the-art hibachi grill. Their sushi menu is incredible with so much to choose from. Take it from me, Jim Censabella, my kids and I love it. And you and your family will love it too at the Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill. For reservations of parties of 5 or more, call 603-626-9888. Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall of New Hampshire. The #1 Japanese Hibachi Grill in the Manchester area.
Beals Insurance Agency is proud to announce the opening of their new Londonderry office. Located on Route 102, Beals Insurance is committed to serving Londonderry, Derry, Wyndham, and Litchfield, while offering the best price and quality coverage that's right for you. Whether it's home, auto, or business insurance, make the right call with Beals Insurance Agency. Call Steve at 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com.
Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar in Nashua has the best Spanish cuisine in the state of New Hampshire. Tropical Point captures the true Latin flavor with their exotic menu. Stop by for their amazing roasted chicken or pork shoulder, even their traditional fajitas and rice. The staff is friendly, the service is prompt. It really is a one-of-a-kind experience. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just drinks with friends, you can dine in Tropical Point's fun atmosphere or have it delivered right to your home or office. Plus, take advantage of their $5 lunch specials. And don't forget, the game is always on. So head over to the Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar on West Hollis Street in Nashua and like them on Facebook.
Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar, 58 West Hollis Street in Nashua. Call 603-889-9612. That's 603-889-9612 for true Latin flavor today.
Want to start a business, don't you? It's scary. I know the feeling. 6 years ago, when we started the Dan Patrick Show, same thing. Wasn't sure where to go, who to ask, what the answers I was looking for. I wasn't even sure the right questions. Then we found LegalZoom, or they found us. It's National Start Your Business Month, and they'll help you. You want to set up an LLC, an S corporation, sole proprietorship, nonprofit? LegalZoom takes care of you from start to finish. Award-winning service developed by the best legal minds in the country. And every business gets personalized attention. That's why over 90% of LegalZoom customers would recommend the service to their family. And over 24 companies in the Inc. 500 list started through LegalZoom. LegalZoom's not a law firm, provides self-help services at your specific direction. easy-to-use business accounting software that you're going to get for free, a $269 value. Be sure to enter Patrick in the referral box at checkout. So start your business, protect your family, safeguard your assets, and do it at LegalZoom.com today.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles until I had cool sculpting at Dr. Waldman's.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Dr. Waldman and the new cool sculpting. The entire staff there is great. They'll sit down with you and consult on exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they made my cool sculpting experience comfortable and safe. No incisions, no downtime. Plus, I was back at the gym the same night.
And I must say, I like what I see.
Well, then I'll see you for dinner.
Absolutely.
Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology on Riverside Street in Nashua. Make sure to mention this ESPN New Hampshire ad to get a free cool sculpting consultation with Dr. Waldman. Call 603-577-5559 or visit them online at Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com. That's Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com.
New Hampshire sports fans, here's what's new for you on the web. First, our address is new, ESPNNHradio.com. Click on over and find the latest schedules, show blogs, podcasts, and local sports news from high school to the pros. Want something cool to wear? That's new too. Get shirts, hats, and all things ESPN New Hampshire at that new online address, ESPNNHradio.com. You like sports? We've got it all right here on ESPN New Hampshire.
That's too funny. Oh. Finally, there it is. It's the longest cut. I'm trying to figure out how Doc Rivers deserves $10 million a year to coach a frickin' basketball team. That is awful.
What do you think he's worth?
4.
4?
Honestly, I don't think any coach should get any more than $2 million a year.
$2 million?
$2 million, that's it. Doc Rivers ought to hand Danny Ainge and the ownership of the Boston Celtics $5 million of that each year and saying thank you.
I think the owners make enough money.
He used and abused the Celtics on the way out the door and didn't even have common courtesy to give him a reach around, for God's sake.
I don't know about that.
He used and abused them. He did. Oh,
how so?
You're breaking up the team. I got to go. I want to go. The Clippers are here. Oh, it's crap. The Celtics, nothing the Celtics could do. Jenny was like, see you later, whatever, go. I mean, the hiring of this Brad, what the hell's his name?
Stevens.
Come on.
Yeah, but that was an Ainge guy, kind of handpicked.
I know. It's so awful, though. I mean, the guy's a great college coach, but what the hell has he done in the NBA?
Yeah, but Doc...
Same thing as Patino's going to happen to him.
Doc doesn't owe the Celtics anything.
Of course he does.
No, he doesn't.
Of course he does.
No, he doesn't.
He stuck around because they asked him to stick around. You're a coach.
He was there when they were horrible.
So what?
Worst team in the league.
So what?
He was there. He worked with those veterans.
He's not worth $10 million. He's not shooting a basket.
He got you a
Larry
finals.
Bird isn't coming through that door. Kevin McHale is not coming through that door, Nick Anastas. Robert Perry. I just don't get it. $10 million? If you own an NBA team, would you pay $10 million for him?
He's a top 3 coach in the league.
Give me 2 better.
Right now?
I'd say Popovich.
Popovich, definitely.
Okay. Who else? Don't say
there
it.
You go.
Don't say Eric Speralta.
No.
I'm coming over the bench at that point.
No.
Who else would it be?
I think after that, there's a tier of, a couple. Doc's in there.
I'm trying to think of some other good coaches.
Doc and Spoelstra and Popovich, I think, are the only 3 with rings. There might be one other.
I can't even think of any other. It's the sad part. I can't think of any other good coaches. I mean, L.A. trades coaches. They just move coaches all day like the Celtics do.
I mean, what do you want to trade for Jason Kidd?
No. I mean, that's the other thing, too. The whole Jason Kidd, and who's the other guy that just became a coach that was a basketball player last year? Who was it? Derek Fisher. Can you give Matt some mic? He's not that bad today, is he? Derek Fisher. But I guess my point is that you have a college coach in Brad Stevens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's never coached a day in the NBA. He coached a team that was God-right awful last year in the Boston Celtics, right? And he had to suffer through that. Now,
just like Doc did 10 years ago.
I understand it. But Doc had coached in the NBA. There's a difference. He played in the NBA. Brad Stevens didn't play a game in the NBA, and he certainly didn't coach in the NBA. So I'm just trying to figure that out. But anyways, we'll get back to your basketball questions. I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in.
Yeah, we got to get Phil on here.
And on the way in, let's bring him in. Philip, how are you, buddy? Phil Perry from Comcast Sportsnet joining us here, talking some Patriot talk. Are you okay? Have the fans shaken you, too, about their lack of knowledge as to why this trade happened yesterday?
A lot of conversation yesterday about that Logan Mankins trade, and a lot of emotional reactions, not just from the fans, but from the players in that locker room too.
I knew that was
sort of an emotional day over at Gillette yesterday.
I knew you were going to say that about the players and who was whining. Let me guess who was whining. I bet you Revis whined a little bit. He hasn't even played with them. Not even a real game yet. He probably whined a little bit.
I wouldn't qualify it as whining.
All right.
Especially not with Revis. Really, with any of the guys. With Revis, it was more of a shocking. Wow, I played against this guy for years. He's one of the best in the game. I can't believe we let him go. I can't believe we're even talking about this right now. But we got to move on. That was basically the sentiment from most of the guys. A little more emotional from the guys who've actually spent a good amount of time with Mankins. But that was the general sentiment.
How about Tom? What did Brady? Was Brady playing the good soldier?
Brady was not present yesterday during the locker room access period. He's usually you get your once a week, you get your press conference with Tom, and then otherwise we don't really see a ton of him necessarily in the locker room, especially to make comments. He'll pass through all the time, but he's not necessarily stopping to talk to anybody. So
look, the kid,
not necessarily sure on his reactions just yet.
The kid, you got. I mean, look, the kid played 8 games, started 8 games for Tampa Bay last year. He had 54 receptions, 571 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's a catch guy that can run. It helps. I don't think that's that bad. You took off $13 million, right? 10 this year, 10.5 this year, probably 3 more next year. You clearly made some cap room. It's a model that the Patriots do quite often. Go back to Loya Malloy, go back to Tyler, they're not going to overpay guys, or if they do, they're going to move them. And yet, some of these guys, ESPN just came up with a segment, and they interviewed Drew Bledsoe and some of the former Patriots, and they asked the question. They said, had most of you guys stayed, including Loya, Tyler, some of these key players, would they have won more championships? And the answer from Drew Bledsoe was no. The Patriots have a very good model, and that's why they've been successful. Of course, Tyler and Malloy had other things to say about it. How do you feel? Do you think if they kept some of these players in the past, they would have won more championships?
I don't know. I mean, that's impossible to say, but in terms of, Mankins and his departure, I think you got it right on the money. This is, first and foremost, in my opinion, this is a money thing. This is, that's the reason for looking to make this deal. It's the reason you give the Bucks a call, or you pick up that phone when the Bucks are calling. Obviously, they were looking for a guard. They had Richie freaking Cognito in for a visit the other day.
Who's good, by the way.
He's okay, but I think Mankins is significantly better, even at this point in his career.
Sure,
he's one of the best run blockers in the league. He had a tough time at the end of last year, I know, in the passing game, and that's something he's going to have to get shored up this season in Tampa Bay. But still a good player. But this is about freeing up money. They got guys like Darrelle Revis, Devin McCourty, Nate Solder is up soon, Shane Vereen. These are all guys they're going to want to bring back, and they got to start freeing up some cash so that they can, maybe even get to signing some of these guys during the season.
My sources tell me that Incognito is on a plane heading back here this week. What do you think about that?
Boston's, a beautiful time.
Beautiful time for the year. Absolutely, the fall season would be great.
Why not? If you were unemployed, wouldn't you want to spend
I'd want to go to the North End and pick on a few guys. Probably be a good job for him. He could get a job as a bouncer probably in the North End.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Why don't you? Because I'm trying to figure that out. Why not? Why not?
They don't need him. I think they feel like
you think these two guys are going to
is good right now.
Really? So is it Klein and Connolly?
I think those are two guys in the mix. I think Klein, as far as I'm concerned, should be the lead candidate. I think you could leave Connolly at right guard there, maybe get Marcus Cannon into the mix somehow, slide him in at left guard. I don't think it's going to be Jordan Devey, although he's played more snaps than anybody on that offensive line during these preseason games. So I think they feel like they have good young depth on the offensive line. No need to go out and spend on a guy like Richie Incognito. I don't know how much he's going to command.
Right.
But no need to spend when you have cheaper, available options to you right in your locker room right there.
I'm also looking at, so you got Wright here coming in immediately. It sounds like he'll get right out there and play, I would imagine. And it looks like a pretty good. If you can throw Gronk on one side, it kind of brings you back to the old days when Brady was first coming out. He had the short game, opened up the long game. Can you see something like that happening with the addition of Wright?
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, and I've been looking at a lot of film of him today. That's kind of been my job today, is to kind of get to the bottom of what kind of player this guy is. I'm going to be posting on that on Comcast Sportsnet New England, our website, csnne.com, in a few minutes. But he is kind of similar, hate to invoke that name Aaron Hernandez because, when he was going good, there were few move tight ends better in the league, if any. And but this is the kind of guy, that's the, Aaron Hernandez light is the skill set that Wright has. He's, by the end of the year last year, now they moved him from
wide receiver
where he played in college to tight end, and by the end of the year last year, those are the games I focused on. I think he had a pretty good grasp on what he was supposed to be doing in that tight end role, and Greg Schiano was very confident in putting him all over the field. We could say, a lot of things about the coaching job that Greg Schiano did, but I think that does speak pretty highly of Wright, that he was able to get in there, contribute a lot. They put him at fullback, they put him in the slot, they moved him out wide. He was doing all sorts of different things. He's a good receiver. From what I could tell, he has pretty good hands. I know that's been sort of a question of surrounding him this summer. A good route runner. You can tell he's a former receiver. You can tell he's worked on those skills. Not so hot in the blocking game, running or pass blocking. They didn't even really keep him in the pass block at all. He was mostly just chipping on guys and getting out into routes. So I don't see him doing a whole lot of that here in New England. I think the big thing for him right now is he's got a skill set, and I think they're going to obviously give him a shot. I don't know if it's going to be right away. I think he has to be able to come in, absorb that playbook, develop some kind of chemistry with Tom Brady, which we know is no small task.
Sure.
And then they'll start to try to mix him in a little bit.
Let's kind of segue a little bit. So Ryan Mallett, as a little bit of news on him today, is he's not going to play. He's going to sit the bench the entire game against the Giants coming up Thursday night. And I guess I'm looking at, would this be an opportunity now that there's a trade in the works and they just want to get more comfortable with Garoppolo beforehand? There's not a lot of big money difference between the two of them. You're talking a couple $100,000. Is the Patriots, have they just kind of lost faith in Mallett after a few years, thinking he was the next heir apparent at some point? Or is it more of a Garoppolo's done in the preseason? And we've heard Mallett trade rumors in the past, I think, with the Houston Texans. Where do you see this playing out?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say this is the Patriots keeping Ryan Mallett under wraps, keeping him in the bubble, making sure he stays as healthy as possible for the next couple weeks in case someone does decide to make an offer in terms of a trade and give them something of value back for him. Because I think right now, if you're the Patriots, you know what Ryan Mallett is. And for that matter, the rest of the league knows what Ryan Mallett is. We're in his fourth preseason here now.
Right.
His ceiling is what it is. But I think, people around the league will look at the fact that the Patriots have had this guy for 4 years. He shared a locker next to Tom Brady for 4 years. And, by osmosis, almost, he's probably going to be able to go in and at least be somewhat serviceable to an NFL team. I think that's what the Patriots are hoping, and that a team gives them an offer in the next couple of weeks. Maybe another quarterback goes down, this week. I don't know if it'll be a starter or a backup.
Right.
But, there could be some value out there on the market for Ryan Mallett in the next couple of weeks. If he gets hurt, playing in a meaningless fourth preseason game, that doesn't happen.
Phil, it's Nick and ask this. I think you're spot on here in terms of we know what Mallett is at this point. We do. The rest of the league, though, you got to think the other 31 GMs know what he is as well. And that's a guy who is frankly in over his head. For whatever reason it is, he has not looked good, not against starting competition either, but against backups. And I just don't see another GM, even if they had a need, they're not going to give anything real valuable in return. Maybe a 6th, 7th round pick. Is there a chance that they get something better than that in your opinion?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think, the Patriots are maybe hoping that somebody gives them an offer like that, or, if a desperate team comes up, I don't know, maybe it's the Rams, they decide they really, really need somebody now that Sam Bradford's hurt. and they're willing to, I don't even think anyone would go as high as a fifth. I think you're probably, like you said, looking at a sixth or seventh rounder in exchange for Ryan Mallett. But there's just no real upside to playing him in this game Thursday, because, like you said, everybody knows what he is, and if he gets injured, he has absolutely no value. So I think they're just holding him out, see if they can work the phones for another few days here before the regular season starts. And if they don't get any offers, then you got a decision to make. Do you want to keep him so that you have some depth at that quarterback position, even though I do think Garoppolo is pretty clearly right now the best choice to be Tom Brady's backup?
Definitely.
Or do you let him go and clear up a spot for somebody like, say Malcolm Butler or, one of those kind of bubble level guys so that they can make the team?
I would think Butler is in, right? I mean, he's looked pretty good for the most part, but I understand your point. There's another player elsewhere on the roster, and you want to talk about the wide receivers as well that I think are going to need that extra spot, so would not surprise me at all if Ryan Mallett is on the couch. Speaking of other moves here, it's been a busy week for the Patriots. Tommy Kelly, that whole move kind of got brushed aside here with the Mankins news, but he didn't stay unsigned long. I see reports here that Arizona has scooped him up. What do you think of that situation?
Yeah, that was sort of an intriguing one for me and a little bit of a confusing one, to be honest with you. I thought that Tommy Kelly looked really strong through training camp and even in the preseason games. He had been that, whether they were playing a 3-4 or a 4-3, he was out there with the ones. He was either that left defensive tackle or that left end next to Vince Wilfork pretty consistently as soon as he got healthy enough to get out on the field early in training camp. And I thought he was strong. He was getting good push. He's such a big body, and I think one of the biggest factors in his game is that he's so long. I'm not going to say he's J.J. Watt-esque in terms of his ability to get into passing lanes, but he's that big that he really does. He affects the lanes that quarterbacks have to throw. So I thought he would be a good fit here. Still, I think the Patriots maybe hoped, hey, we'll let him go if he's still available. After week one, we can bring him back. That salary is no longer guaranteed. Obviously, that didn't happen. The Cardinals, I know, had a need there themselves with Darnell Dockett being out for the year. So it's a fit for them. The Patriots, if that was the gamble in their eyes, I'm sure they knew what it was going into it. And so now Tommy Kelly's going to be playing in the NFC.
Kind of segue in the NFL a little bit. One last thing before we let you go. Josh Gordon today, the one-year ban was upheld. I guess they were kind of banking on the situation that happened with Ray Rice, which I still don't agree with Ray getting a 2-game suspension. I think it should have been more. I think a lot of people think of that. And I kind of figured Josh Gordon's camp really kind of focused on that situation, getting him a lighter sentence. Although he's now, a third-time offender, repeat offender. Do you think the 1 year is kind of, in my eyes, I think it's still way too much time. I think an 8 to 10-game suspension would have been better. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm with you. And just the whole way that it was handled, I'm not really sure what the delay was in terms of making a decision on the appeal, because it seems like we've been waiting for this to come down for weeks now. I don't know if the league is trying to separate this decision from that Ray Rice decision time-wise to make
exactly
it, I don't know, maybe it makes them look a little bit better in people's eyes. They're not comparing the two right away. But, yeah, I mean, I think the message gets sent if you take away three-quarters of the season away from this guy. A full season, it's tough. But like you said, at the same time, he's a third-time offender. Yeah. Once you get caught twice, you really got to basically not care and just completely put it out of your mind to get caught a third time. So, there's culpability there, but still a little bit strong of a punishment, I think. Hey,
he's Phil Perry, Comcast Sports. Hey, throw that link out. You're going to go ahead and post to right now. You said you were going to post to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we'll get it out there in the next couple minutes.
What's the link? Shoot it out there for everybody.
It's going to be right at csnne.com. It should be right there on the homepage when you hit up our homepage, and there'll be all sorts of good nuggets in there on Tim Wright. A lot of good screen grabs, some of the interesting things he did at the end of the season. They're playing fullback, playing the slot, playing on the outside. He's all over.
Cool. Hey, Phil, so you want to know why Phil and I, every time you come on, we yell out, Philip! You ever watch the movie, is it Beverly Hills Cop? Mm-hmm. You got to watch a scene in there. Next time you watch it, it's Eddie Murphy, and he's pretending like he's a drunk guy in a bar, and his buddy's name he's trying to call up is Philip. And he's yelling, so that's how we do that to you all the time. I love it.
I get that all the time in the bars here in South Boston.
He's Phil Perry, ComcastSportsNet.com. Patriot Talk. Phil, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again a little bit next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Phil.
Love having him. He's pretty funny. Man.
He's
He goes
good,
right
too.
with the punches. Good comment.
Quick
Good-
on his feet.
Very quick on his feet. And
shares our humor.
Absolutely. And some good information there. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, wrap up hour number 1. We'll head into hour number 2. The Jim Censabella Show live on ESPN Radio. Go to ESPNNHradio.com. We'll be right back.
Come to Bellman Jewelers in tax-free Manchester, New Hampshire to discover what the Bellman's Advantage is all about. Bellman's has always featured quality jewelry at a fair price with excellent service. Whether it's me or my husband, we always choose Bellman's because the majority of their finished jewelry and engagement mountings are manufactured in-house, eliminating the middleman, which saves us money. And of course, no sales tax. My husband knows to shop at Bellman's. Do you?
Bellman's Jewelers, located at 1650 Elm Street in Manchester, or visit them online at bellmans.com.
There's a place where action and adventure have no boundaries. A place where sunrise to sunset all summer long you can find an adventure around every turn. It's the Mountain Adventure at Cranmore, right in the heart of North Conway. Cruise down the mountainside on our mountain coaster, a thrill ride that screams through crazy twists and turns. Get into the trees at Aerial Adventure Park with 5 different rope courses for different ability levels. Conquer Cranmore's new climbing wall or soar the 700-foot soaring Eagle zip line. There's summer tubing, giant swing rides, bouncy houses, gem mining, and action for all ages. Cranmore is the summer playground where you can play all day. So come, find it all summer long here at Cranmore.
Cranmore is open daily through Labor Day from 10 to 6, then weekends through Columbus Day 10 to 5. Visit Cranmore.com for online specials and e-coupons.
Hey folks, Tom Rowe here for the good people at Infinity of Nashua. Right now at Infinity of Nashua, they're home to one of the most unique automobiles on the planet. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid gets an astounding 30 miles per gallon with a powerful 360 horsepower engine that gives you the performance you demand from a luxury vehicle. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid is priced, get this, below $50,000. Other comparable luxury vehicles can cost you twice as much. All Infinity vehicles are backed by a 4-year, 60,000-mile warranty and a powertrain warranty for 6 years at 70,000 miles. At Infinity of Nashua, they know your time is valuable, and when it comes time to service your vehicle, Infinity of Nashua has a fleet of loaner cars for you to use, so you're not waiting around for your car to be serviced. And the service department hand washes and vacuums your vehicle after every visit. Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at InfinityofNashua.com. Once more, Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at InfinityofNashua.com.
Cool Sculpting is a breakthrough non-invasive procedure that noticeably eliminates fat without surgery. Cool Sculpting targets and freezes fat cells, causing their natural death in the treatment area. No incisions, no downtime. This is not a weight loss solution, but the results will last as long as you maintain a healthy lifestyle. Is Cool Sculpting right for you? Mention this ad for a free Cool Sculpting consultation and visit Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com or call 603-577-5559 today.
Hi, it's Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. A recliner is built for one purpose, comfort. And my power recliners at only $3.99 each have taken comfort to a new level. With the touch of a button, recline to your perfect comfort position. In fabric or bonded leather everywhere you sit. All with my famous Bobopedic memory foam cushions. You can't get more comfortable. Power recliners only $3.99 each, in-store or online at mybobs.com.
You want sports? How about the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics? Hear them all right here on ESPN New Hampshire.
In the Membrane. That's Roger Goodell's new song. Insane in the Membrane. Justin looks very disheveled right now. Looks like somebody beat him with a wet noodle. He just walks in, sits there, and look at him right now.
He was a little upset earlier.
Look at him. He's very fired up.
Now he's smiling.
He's going to start killing the IT department. I just fired back an email in support of Justin. Don't screw with Justin.
That's right.
We got the IT guys are all pissed off right now.
The man behind the curtain.
If you're not advertising with ESPN New Hampshire, God help you because your competitors are. So give us a shout down here, 603-88, is it 09001? Does that sound right all the time? Or we can just email us, right? Jim@ESPNNH.com. And go ahead and tell me what you're looking for, and we will do our best to take care of you and your advertising needs, which we do that so well around.
Yeah, the business line, 880-9001.
That's right. Again, that number is 603-880-9001.
There you go.
The Flowbee. Remember that commercial back in the day, huh?
No, I don't remember.
This thing called the Flowbee back in the 80s. Everybody's listening right now on the radio that listened to it. Anybody's in my age bracket of 40. The Flowbee was a cutting tool that dried. So basically you just went through your hair and you cut it, and it just automatically cut to lengths, and you just drove it in your hair.
Nice.
Called the Flowbee.
All
It was
right.
one of the first advertising, marketing TV things that came out. That was that whole 80s.
One of those
and 90s.
infomercials?
Yeah.
All right.
That and what else? They had all kinds of stuff back then.
Chia.
Chia pet.
Remember that, but not the Flowbee.
The Flowbee. Well, Christ, you weren't even born yet, kid. So.
No.
Plus, you don't need a Flowbee. It's when we had big hair back in the 80s. We all carried combs in our pockets. We didn't have pagers.
Including a young Jim Censabella.
Absolutely. I had a comb in my back. I had hair like Vinnie Barbarino.
Yeah,
for
you
Christ's
told me
sakes.
that.
Oh, yeah. I was about $1.50 soaking wet. And I had big hair. And we all had combs. I used to have to blow dry my hair, dude.
That's way too much.
That's
effort.
all the guys did back then. We all had big hair. You go look at the pictures of the 80s, all you see is hair.
Well, it's like it is now with these youngsters.
Yeah, but they don't blow
The
dry
youngsters,
their hair.
they got the long, even if it's short, it's
Yeah.
like over the top of your ears.
It's the bowl cut thing that pisses me off. Just take a bowl, shove it on your kid's head, and go around. And there you go. These kids
Right.
try to do the Tom Brady thing. It's
Right.
awful.
Right.
Yeah, we had combs in our back pockets. And when your parents wanted to call you to come home, I opened the door up and they screamed and yelled. And in my neighborhood, there wasn't a lot of.
I thought you were going to say they called your comb.
No, they just yelled. They just screamed. They'd throw a whistle out there, and that was it. And we just go home.
Yeah.
Look around your parents' neighborhoods now. Everybody out there. Go around your
Nobody
parents.
outside.
There's no
first of all.
kids playing
Right.
outside.
Nobody outside.
Christ, we used to play everything. Roller hockey, basketball, wiffle ball.
Dozens of kids
Kick
outside.
the can, smear
Right.
smear the friend, and all that stuff. We used to play all those games.
Right.
And now I drive through my parents' neighborhood. It's like crickets.
Yeah.
And where are the kids? They're inside playing video games. They're at their 10 lacrosse practices for the week.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to give a shout out to all of the Pop Warner teams out there. You people are crazy. You have your kids practicing 4 nights a week. Now you're going to interrupt Saturdays on me for cheerleading and Sundays the games. My life is over, Nick.
I know.
My life is over.
That's
Thank
tough.
God I don't have to go to all of them. Not
That's
because
tough.
I don't want to. Work takes precedent, But good God.
The dog days of August too.
Oh yeah. They have these kids starting August 1st.
If you've got if you got your helmet on, your helmet pad, you're sweating it up.
Oh yeah. Those of you that don't have
the
children.
dog days of summer.
Those of you that don't have children have aspirations of having children, if they're girls. Try pulling a kid out of a pool at 4:30 where all their friends are frolicking and swimming and having a great time to take them to cheer practice for 3 hours in the middle of a bug-infested field.
Wow.
That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
It's awful.
I'm all set.
I'm all set. I'd rather just, I tip telling her, why don't you just take up an instrument? It might be a lot easier. 603-883-9900. We're going to wrap up hour number 2 shortly. Hour number 1 shortly. Go into hour number 2. And who's coming on at 420?
Mike Loico. NEPatriotsDraft.com.
Going to really give us some more comments about this.
I think he's one of the best guests we have, period. Station-wide.
You think so?
Across the shows, I honestly think so.
I still think funniest guest we have.
Funniest guest probably still Wild Man.
The Wild Man, Jerry
Yeah.
Thornton.
Yeah.
We'll get him on again.
I left him
Probably
a
tomorrow.
voicemail.
Did you?
By the way, yeah.
You said this is the
Nothing.
Terminator?
He
Nothing.
snubbed me.
He said, Nastas the hell with it. So some good news for those of you NHL diehards like me that hockey season is just around the corner within the next, 34 days.
Really?
4 new teams will be added in the 2017 season. Are you ready?
Wow.
Las Vegas.
Yep.
Quebec, the old Nordiques. Seattle. And
All right.
Toronto's going to add a second team.
So what does that bring the total number of teams to?
Stat, 36.
Unless they replace.
They're not replacing anybody. These are all new teams.
So that will mess with the playoffs too.
Well, the playoff system sucks anyways. We all figured that out this year. That was like trying to do a.
They just changed it.
What do you call those things you used to play? Rubik's cube.
Yeah.
That's what the
The playoff system.
commissioner
I
system
was just
did.
reading the report whether it's similar to yours, they were saying Las Vegas was the one that's pretty much would be a done deal.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back hour number 2. We'll talk more about it. The Jim Censabella Show. Come back hour number 2. ESPNNHradio.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles. Until I had